If you are offered a night shift at an abandoned amusement park, do not take it. That is not a warning you expect to hear from someone who once took the job. But I did, and I would give anything to take it back. What started as an easy way to earn a few bucks turned into something that will follow me for the rest of my life. The park looked lifeless, like a forgotten postcard, but it had not stopped breathing. It was waiting. It was watching. By the time I realized what was wrong, I had already stepped into something far worse than any nightmare. The lights still blinked, the ride still groaned, and the air smelled like candy and rust. None of that was the worst part. Something was still inside. It remembers me. It wants another. If you value your mind, your soul, or your sleep, walk away. Let me tell you why. It had been 6 months since I lost my last job. A factory shut down and left dozens of us jobless. I was staying in my cousin's spare room, helping with bills when I could. One night, I found a job listing while scrolling on my phone. Night guard wanted. Whistlewood Amusement Park. $12 an hour. No experience needed. Immediate hire. Whistlewood. I remembered it from childhood. The place had been shut for over a decade. Some said it closed after a fire. Others claimed something darker. I never paid attention to ghost stories. I was desperate, and the pay was better than nothing. I called the number. A man answered, said his name was Mr. Thomas. His voice was rough, like gravel. He told me to come in the next night. He said someone named Jake would be there to show me around. No interview, no forms. Just show up. I arrived right before sundown. The sun dipped behind the tree line, casting long shadows across the park entrance. The gate stood half open, creaking gently. Paint peeled from cartoon signs. Rides loomed like skeletons. The air smelled like rotting wood and sugar. Jake was waiting near the security booth. He looked to be in his 50s, had a weathered face, and wore an old army jacket. His grip was firm when he shook my hand. "You can call me Jake," he said. "Rules are simple. Walk the grounds every hour. Check the gates. Do not enter buildings unless you have to. And stay clear of the old clown maze." I asked why. He just said, "You do not want to know." The park was divided into 5 zones. The roller coaster towered over the eastern edge. Food stands lined the central plaza. The funhouse sat near the lake, where swan boats floated aimlessly. And in the northwest corner, hidden by overgrown hedges, stood the clown maze. Even from a distance, I could feel something wrong about that part. My first night was quiet. A few raccoons scurried across the paths. The lights flickered now and then, but the generator kept most systems running. I checked my watch every hour, walked the loop, logged my rounds in a battered notebook Jake gave me. On my second night, I found a balloon tied to the gate of the clown maze. Bright red. Fresh ribbon. It swayed despite the still air. I asked Jake about it. He frowned. "It happens," he said. "Do not touch it. Just move on." I did as told. But something about it nagged at me. A few nights later, the music started. Calliope notes played soft and slow. I followed it to the carousel. It spun slowly, though I had never turned it on. Figures on the ride looked different. Their eyes felt like they were following me. I stood frozen, watching. Jake found me there. He turned off the ride with a switch I had never seen before. "You cannot let them know you are scared," he said quietly. We walked back in silence. I noticed he carried a knife on his belt now. He never used to. Things kept getting stranger. Lights would switch on in the arcade. Claw machines blinked. A shadow once darted across the roller coaster platform, fast and tall. I gave chase. Found nothing. But the air felt wrong afterward, charged, like static. One night, I heard a laugh. Not a happy one. It came from the funhouse. I stood outside, flashlight shaking in my hand. Jake's voice crackled through the radio. "Do not go in," he warned. "Whatever it is, let it be." But curiosity won. I stepped inside. Mirrors lined the halls. My reflection blinked slower than I did. Then one mirror cracked, just a thin line down the center. I turned to leave and saw movement behind me. I ran. Jake was waiting. He did not yell, just handed me a flare and said, "Next time, light this before you go in anywhere dark." I stopped sleeping well. I dreamed of the clown maze, of red balloons, of laughter that turned into screams. I kept seeing things out of the corner of my eye. Shapes, smiles, flashing lights. One evening, Jake did not show up. I called his number. No answer. I radioed. Silence. I walked my first round alone. Near the food court, I found his flashlight, still warm, and a trail of candy led toward the maze. I followed it. I know I should not have, but something pulled me. The maze was open. The door creaked. Inside, it was darker than night. I clicked on my flashlight. Red and yellow walls stretched endlessly. I turned left, then right, then again. Laughter echoed. Footsteps tapped behind me. I turned. Nothing. Then I heard Jake. "Run," he whispered. I did. I ran until my lungs burned. I turned a corner and saw a shape, tall, thin, wearing a painted grin. I turned again. A dead end. I closed my eyes. I lit the flare. Red light burst out. The figure vanished. I do not remember getting out. I woke up outside the maze, lying in the grass. My watch said 2 hours had passed. My flare was burnt out. I never saw Jake again. Mr. Thomas said Jake had left. No one knew where he went. I stayed one more night. Only one. The park was different. The shadows longer. The laughter louder. The carousel spun on its own. Balloons floated without strings. The mirrors in the funhouse showed other people. None of them were me. That night, the maze lights turned on. Every bulb, flashing like a heartbeat. And something came out. I ran. I did not stop until I reached the parking lot. I dropped the radio, the keycard, everything. I got in my car and drove. I never went back. That was 3 years ago. Now I work in a diner. I mop floors and serve coffee. I sleep with a flashlight next to my bed. I cannot look at balloons without feeling sick. Sometimes I hear that Calliope tune. Faint. In the vents. In the wind. Once on the radio. And sometimes I see red ribbons tied to the branches of trees. I never follow them. I tried to move on. I switched cities, changed my number, made new friends, but I still dream of that maze. In those dreams, I hear Jake's voice. Sometimes he whispers warnings. Other times he screams. One morning, I found a small toy clown sitting on my doorstep. Its grin was wide. Its arms were open. I threw it out, but it came back the next day. This time, it was holding a note. The paper read, "Night shift open. You are late." I burned the toy. The smell reminded me of burnt sugar and grease. Last week, someone slid a flyer under my apartment door. Same font. Same listing. Night guard wanted. Whistlewood Amusement Park. I have not told anyone. Not my cousin. Not my coworkers. I just started packing. I need to leave again. I saw a man watching me through the diner window yesterday. He was tall. Too tall. His clothes looked outdated. His smile never changed. The waitress asked if I was feeling okay. I told her I was tired. But the truth is, I am terrified. The park is not done with me. And if you ever get an offer for a night shift at Whistlewood, walk away. Because once the park sees you, it never forgets. And eventually, it calls you back. If this story reaches you, I hope it finds you in time. Not everyone gets away. Some of us stay trapped in the echoes, our minds folded into the maze. If someone you know disappears after taking a job like this, do not search. Do not visit the site. Burn the flyer. Forget the name. Forget the smell of sugar and smoke. Forget the laughter, especially the laughter. Because the park is still there. and it is hungry.